Hello, my dear students. Hope you're doing well. Today's lesson is going to be about tone. At the end of this tutorial, you will be able to define what tone is, identify the two elements of tone, and apply tone on some excerpts. Before we start talking about tone, we are going to have some warm-up. We will read three situations. Let's start with the first one. You are playing a football match, and instead of kicking the ball away from your net, you put it inside yours by mistake. The second situation, you bought for your little brother the toy that he has always wanted. And the third one, you volunteered to teach your classmate how to prepare for the material whenever she has an exam. Now, you are going to tell us here how these people feel towards the correlated situations. Your coach, your brother, and your teacher. I will give you 20 seconds starting from now. Great job. Let's see the answers. So the coach might feel angry or disappointed. The brother will feel excited, thankful, and joyful, and the teacher will be proud and encouraging. In the previous slide, we set the feelings of the teacher, the coach, and the brother towards the subjects that they encountered. We are going to see how these feelings related to tone. So what is tone? Tone is the writer's attitude, feelings, or opinion towards a subject or towards characters. It's very important to know how to identify tone or to determine the tone because this will help us to comprehend and analyze the text easily. Keep in mind that the tone is inferred and not stated explicitly. We are going to discuss in full details these two items. Alright, so what makes tone? Tone is made up of diction, which is the choice of words or the vocabulary that the writer chooses in order to make his idea clear for the reader. And it also has details where the writer puts the events or the descriptions that are needed to make his ideas clear and to show his tone. Now we are going to move deeper into tone. So, diction or word choice. Writers select specific words depending on the message they want to communicate. So, writers choose the words in order to show their feelings or their opinion about a certain subject or about certain characters. Let's take this example. This car is a piece of junk, and I want my money back or I will call the police. Now, if you notice here, the words in blue, piece of junk, want, money back, all of these show a specific feeling or specific tone. So what do you think the tone of this speaker? Let's see here. So the tone is angry and threatening. How do I know that the tone is angry and threatening? It's because of the choice of words. It's a piece of junk, and usually this word has negative connotation or negative meaning, the word junk. Also, I want, this shows demanding. And money back. Also, he said, call the police. So all of these words show anger and threaten. Let's see another example, which versus the first one. So here we are in the same situation, but here the language is different. The dealer sold me an inferior and defective product, and I demand a refund. Refund means that he wants his money back. So here, if you notice the words in blue, they are different from the words in example 1. So here we have inferior, the words are more formal, defective, which means that the product is not good enough, and refund, this is a formal word. So here the speaker here wants his money back, the same as the first one, but the words that he used is totally different from what's used in example 1. So here the tone is formal and rational. Let's take another example. A man died today in a tragic, awful accident. When you read this, it shows that the speaker who said the sentence or the writer feels sorrowful because of the words tragic, awful. So here the tone is sorrowful and tragic. However, we can say this example in another way. Reckless driving is still claiming the lives of many innocent people, like what happened today. So here the tone differs. The writer used the word reckless. Reckless means people who do things without thinking of their consequences, which might hurt other people. Claiming the lives means killing the lives, innocent people. So here the tone does not show any kind of sorrow or tragedy. On the contrary, it shows furious and worried. He's furious because people are driving recklessly without thinking of their consequences, and this causes people to die. And also he's worried because still these people who are driving recklessly are killing many innocent people. We discussed previously about how the writers use diction or choice of words to show their opinion or feelings. Now let's move to details or the writer's style. So writers insert details in their writings to show their attitude and feelings. We'll see this example. Each time the phone rings early on a winter morning, informing me that the world outside is coated in sparkling white diamonds of snow, and I can stay home and snuggle under my blanket a while longer, appreciating the season so much more than usual. Here, if you notice the words in blue, it describes the situation. It describes how things go inside the house and the weather outside, which is snowy and cold, while inside it's cozy and it's warm. So whenever the writer sees what's happening outside, which is that snow, he compared it to this sparkling white diamonds, and inside the house it's warm. He covers himself with blanket and he stays a little bit more in the house. So here the description shows the writer's tone, which is warm, peaceful, and comfortable. The second example, we have come together this afternoon to mourn the deaths of 16 miners, our friends and neighbors, who were trapped by fire yesterday, deep below the earth. They lived bravely, and they died too soon, leaving behind grieving wives and bewildered children. We bid them a final farewell. Miners means people who go into some caves or mines in order to get some metals or some resources. Now here, also, if you look at the blue words, mourn means to feel sad when somebody is dead. To mourn the death of 16 miners. Also trapped by fire, this is tragic. They died too soon, they are still young, and they left behind wives who are very sad and children who are lost. So here the tone of the writer through description of the situation of the death of these people, it's a tone of sorrowful, grieving, and bitter. How do we express the tone? Tone is expressed through certain adjectives, like for example here, cautious, humorous, affectionate, critical, objective, pleading, desperate, etc. There are many other adjectives that you can use in order to show tone. Now it's time for you to apply tone. Don't forget, you have to look for diction and details. Let's read this short excerpt. It's called The Land of Beginning Again. I wish there were some wonderful place called the Land of Beginning Again, where all our mistakes and all our heartaches and all our poor, selfish griefs could be dropped like a shabby old coat at the door and never put on again. Now we are going to read it one more time on your own, and you have to figure out the tone. I'm going to give it 20 seconds. If you feel that you want more time, you can always repeat the slide. Okay, let's see the answer. So the writer's tone is romantic and regretful. Romantic here does not mean love. It means here something that is unrealistic and not practical, because she wishes she could go back in time and change all her mistakes by going to the land of beginning again, which is not real. The writer compared time to that of a coat which she can take off and never wear it again. So here the words wonderful place, the land of beginning again, all of these show that this is something that is not real. Also, when she compared the time to the coat where she can drop it whenever she wants to. Okay, let's read another example. Lola sat on the old lumpy couch crying. She could let it all out here, alone in her mother's small, quiet apartment in Galesburg, Illinois. The familiar walls were covered in rose-pink wallpaper. Goldie, her mother's 11th fish, seemed to stare sympathetically at Lola through the fishbowl sitting on the counter. The smell of her mother's vanilla candles comforted her aching heart. Again, you are going to read it one more time on your own, and I will give it 20 seconds. In case you need more time, you can always rewind the video. Okay, well done. Let's see the answer. So the tone of the passage is sad and heartbroken. The author's description relays the tone through the words crying, quiet, sympathetically. Also, the writer included some details to show how her heart is broken, like when she talked about Lola's aching heart. It seems that Lola lost her mom and she is retrieving all the memories in her mother's house. So here we have the words, the diction, crying, quiet and sympathetically. All of these show the sadness. And also we have the description of the walls and of the fish and the candles. This shows, or these show the tone of the writer. Let's wrap up what we discussed about tone. So writers set the tone depending on their opinion or feelings towards a subject or the characters. The second point, writers choose accurately their big vocabulary, which is the diction, and insert specific details to make their tone clear. They can use some descriptions like metaphor or simile or any other adjectives that describe the details. Tone is not stated explicitly, it is inferred, so readers have to read between the lines. You will not see an excerpt where the writer is saying, now I'm angry, I'm going to talk about my anger, or now I'm sympathetic. So you will know all these feelings through the writer's diction and the details. Last but not least, it's very important to know how you can become better in tone. The more you read and analyze text, the better you will be in identifying the tone. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you next time and take care.